welcome to I Am Woke. I am your host, Emelina Calder. In this video, I'm going to talk to you guys about letting go of the past and stepping into the new you. If you're new to my world, hello, my name is Emelina. I am a modern shaman, a spiritual mentor, a spiritual high performance coach, both in life coaching as well as personal branding coaching. And I'm here to help you elevate, let go of the past, and step into a new vibrant future on who it is that you want to become. On another note, if you're looking to deepen your connection to yourself, your inner authenticity, and deepen your source connection, I have a free 45-minute guided meditation that I really think you guys are gonna love. The link is in the description below. So here's the deal. The past is probably coming up for many of you, if not all of you. I want to say almost 24/7, right? We're always continually confronted with our past, on what we know things to be, on our belief systems, what's been true for us in the past, who we have been in the past, and what that looks like. And right now, I feel like a lot of us are going through a lot of really deep reflection and refinement of peering through and looking back on different experiences of who we've been, what we've chosen. And there might be a lot of relationships that are reflecting that past version of yourself back to you over and over and over again. Like maybe old friendships or connections, or you go to visit a specific place and it triggers something within yourself that reminds yourself of a version that you've been in the past. Now, here's the truth about the past. You've lived it. It's officially done and over. And when I say that, I mean that the past is the past. It's not the current day you. So when we're rehearsing and looking through our past, what it is that we're doing is we're looking to reconcile who we believe ourselves to be now, what is true for us now, in comparison to where we've been. And this is really, really beautiful because the past serves as a wonderful reflection of our standards, of what we've allowed, on our growth trajectory and patterns, because those of you that are watching this video likely are not stuck in the tumultuous past. You're looking to move through it, which is why these reflections are becoming so extraordinarily obvious to you, right? The past teaches us who we were. It's not an accurate indication of who we are now. So my reminder for you right now is, as you're thinking about your past, as you're reflecting on different experiences through which you've lived, to remember that it is a reflection, that it is serving as a perspective that we've lived before, which is not something to say that you have to fix it, or you have to change it, or you have to do things the right way and you didn't do them the right way in the past. It's really about looking at it and then choosing the now moment and saying, wow, that's what I did live. Look at how much I've grown. Because I feel like so many of us just kind of blow past it and we assume that we're continuing the same experiences now in the present that we've done in the past, but the past is just a reflection to the now. It's the contrast that serves as the choice point or the indicator, like this is what you have done, and you can choose to say, I'm either stuck there and I still have to do all this healing and growth work, which we're never gonna escape our healing and growth work, right? But it's more about deciding that it's done. Deciding that it's something you've chosen and it's not something you're necessarily repeating now, because the act of being able to see and reflect is to not repeat. It is to be in a state of reflection and refinement, a state of understanding and conscious awareness, which is to literally not repeat it. So those of you that are in reflection, this is your complete permission slip right now to let yourself off the hook and to not mentally berate yourself that like, oh, I did these things, I have to think about this more, and really, I'm repeating all these patterns. Like, those are all just stories. The reality is that you are here now. And in reflecting and thinking about the past, it serves as an idea now of what you've lived through, which is separate from who you actually are. So it's actually positioning you where you can make a choice in the moment now that you are safe, that you are secure, that what you've done is done, and it doesn't mean anything bad about you. No matter how dark your past is, it does not mean anything bad about you. It just shows you what you've lived. It just shows you what you've chosen before. And there's no reason to believe that you would continue to choose to do things that you don't like to do, or choose experiences that are not meant for you. Those are just stories running in the mind. So as the past makes its way into your conscious awareness, realize that it's there as just a reminder on how much you've grown and everything we've been through in all of those years. And regardless of what experiences you've chosen to live through in the past, whatever difficulties, traumas, or circumstances, there is no God up in the universe that is a punishing, menacing God that is like, because you lived through those things, because you made those choices in the past, that you have to pay for it now in the present, that things can't be good for you, that there is a repentance coming. Like, these things are not true. God is kind. God is loving. The universe, source, infinite intelligence, the creation of the universe is a loving creation and is so unconditionally loving that we are allowed to make choices with our free will, to follow our path, to make mistakes even if we see them as mistakes. But really what we're doing at every level is exploring our humanity, exploring our relationships, and exploring and discovering our true selves through our choices. And that is not something that is punishable by the universe. All of this to say that it's all made in perfection. We are all made in likeness of the Creator and creation, which is to allow unconditional love, which is truly the mastery of self-discovery, allowing yourself to have the experiences that you have now, allowing yourself to be present and secure and unconditionally loving and kind with yourself in all of the choices that you have made in the past, whether you think they were good or not, whatever your judgment may be, your opinion of yourself, you can choose now based on the fact that infinite intelligence is infinitely kind and unconditionally loving, that it's all okay, all of it, every experience. Even the dark stuff, even if you were doing dark things, whether to others or yourself, even if dark things were done to you and you were a victim, that ultimately it's all forgivable in the lens and the realm of understanding that when you accept that you are good as you are, when you accept that there's nothing inherently bad or wrong with you because of the choices you've made in the past, you are in complete self-acceptance, which is to receive grace. It is to be the grace. It is to be the blessing and the kindness to yourself so that you can step into the new present, so that you can step into the new version of yourself. I feel like where most of us get stuck is in this cycle of repeating in our minds and our meditations and our reflections and our journaling when we're doing so much personal development work. This is who I've been in the past. This is what I've done in the past. And then we go into self-punishing and self-judgment around the things that we've lived. When really creation is unconditionally loving, which means you can exercise that kindness and that unconditional love to yourself by allowing yourself to have lived and breathed and experienced life in all of the ways that you have, whatever they may have been. Life is not perfect, but it is absolutely perfect. All of our choices and however we choose to live, regardless of what it is that we choose when we're doing this work, it really is perfect. When you take the bird's eye view lens of spirit, of the divine, and you step back from your life as an observer and you look in, it really is about the fact that there is a tremendous amount of perfection in the raw components of what it is that has made you into the person that you are now and who you are to become. There's a certain amount of pressure that's needed. There's a certain amount of trauma that was needed. There's a certain amount of experience that was needed. There's a certain amount of mistakes. There's a certain amount of blessings. There's a certain amount of luck. There's a certain amount of love. There is a unique concoction that infinite intelligence has placed together alongside your soul in your human experience that is not dissimilar from baking a cake. Where if you have the cake, you've got flour, you've got sugar, you've got, I don't know, cinnamon or chocolate, whatever sort of cake you're making. Where we get stuck in the past is when we assume that the cake has to be done, not realizing that the cake is being made through our entire life. And that we may be looking at ourselves now saying, why did I have to live through all of that? Why did I choose that stuff? What is that? Why did I even make those conscious choices or maybe unconscious choices, right? And it's like, you can't know from here. It's not possible to know that from that, because you're being made for something specific. And some of these lessons, some of this understanding where the mental mind wants to logically say, this is why I did these things, you may not receive for 10 years. You may not receive for 20 years. You may not, who knows? The point is that you continue to love yourself unconditionally, continue to allow yourself the kindness that you would a child who's growing, who is in self-discovery. And the thing about humanity is we assume that that self-discovery ends when we turn 18. And all of a sudden, we have to have it all together, have it all figured out, and then we've got a bunch of adults running around pretending to have it figured out. Well, newsflash, nobody has it figured out, which is beautiful because it means that you haven't screwed anything up. You are quite literally perfect as you are. The infinite intelligence in this universe gave you the raw components for you to alchemize and create your life in a way with your own free will alongside the will of the divine, so that you can create yourself magically by allowing it to unfold one experience at a time as you are living your life in the moment, being present and rooted in your authenticity and in yourself, to create whatever it is you are being prepared for, to build yourself into what it is that you've always been meant to become, your dharma, your destiny. And we know that not everybody reaches this because we all have free will as humans and we can choose to stay in karmic cyclical patterns of the past. But the reality is, if you're watching this video, hey, newsflash, you're awake to this, you're gonna be stepping into your dharma and your destiny, which is what you've always meant to be. And who you were always meant to become has no choice but to unfold day by day based on what you're living. As you choose in complete self-acceptance, self-love, and tremendous self-kindness that you extend to yourself in the moment, all that I have lived is perfect. I will not hurt myself or harm myself in the present for choices I've made in the past, because everything is hindsight and hindsight is 2020. Of course, from this position, I would have made different choices 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even a year ago from the position I'm in now. But it is not possible for me to have made those choices differently because I am now the product of those choices having been made. There is nothing to reflect on and say, I wish I could have done this better. All we can really say is, I'm so happy that I lived those experiences. I'm happy to be separate from them. I don't want to relive them, but thank God I made the choices that I did. Thank God the pressure was applied to me from the universe in a certain amount of ways, and I was given access to my power in the way that I did, so that I can then have the choice now to be in reflection. So I could understand now in that reflection my own self-discovery, who I am, and then make choices from this place rooted in all of the experience I've lived so far to move myself forward and become who I want to become. And who I desire to become is only created from all of the choices up until this point that I have currently made and lived. The universe is ultimately kind, even for those of us that have gone through steep trauma. And I know from personal experience, and I can also tell you from personal experience, that we do live in a benevolent, kind universe. And that kindness stems first from the self. As we are kind and accepting and loving with ourselves, to ourselves, for everything that we've lived, then the universe has no choice but to reflect all of that benevolence that we've extended to ourselves back to us in the form of all the other relationships and people and synchronicities and circumstances that we encounter. So the beauty about the past is it teaches us who we were, not who we are. And we only have the perspective of choosing who we are based on the choices we made and who we were, based on the previous experience that we've embraced. So there's no point in punishing yourself for your previous experience, because it is to relive those patterns as if you had your current consciousness now in the past, which you didn't. That's impossible. So grant yourself the loving kindness to say, what I lived in the past was perfect. Even if I don't like it, I'm gonna learn to love it, because I wanna love those parts of myself because they got me here. And me being here is the kindest thing I can possibly do for myself, to be present, to be available for myself and others, for I am the blessing in my life for myself and for others. And as you go with the flow and as you are in presence, new choices that are better choices that will give you elevated forms of self-discovery that you'll enjoy even more than anything you've ever lived before, and totally open up the blinders of your mind to infinite potential and possibilities that exist for you in the now moment, will all step forward. It provides us with the infinite perspective on what we are to do and who we are to be or become. It provides us with the clarity and the contrast to choose new, to be new. And as we choose to become new and we step into the flow, we are provided for, because the flow of life is ever intelligent and is always looking to meet you and have you meet others, have your needs be met, provide for you as you provide. As you step into the flow, it's a very natural, energetic exchange through humanity and everything that you choose to do and be, all of which involves you being present. So the core component of stepping into the new you, the new version of yourself, is getting still, being present in the now, which is to not rehearse the past any longer, but decide that the past was perfect. And continually bring your attention as the past is ruminating in your mind to say, that was perfect. I love that part of myself too. And what's really beautiful about how you can be kind to yourself is you also say to yourself, I don't need to make choices like that anymore. I can make different choices, and there's no pressure to the past choices because they're already done. So I get to choose new. So in the place of stillness now, without any mental berating or punishment for anything I've ever lived, who do I get to be now? What do I get to choose? And in any moment, you get to choose new. And all of those choices stack and create you into the person that you want to become through micro choices made in the moment and being present. We're not truly stuck in these habitual patterns of the past. And I know a lot of us get stuck in this in the personal development world of thinking, I need to heal this, I need to move through this, I need to do this and this and this and this. And we barrel roll through our personal development as if it's a really robust curriculum, because it can be. It just depends on your perspective. When in reality, we can also choose the new reality of just accepting the past, saying that whether or not I liked it is a whole nother conversation. It almost doesn't matter. What matters is your acceptance of it, your love towards it. And I'm not even talking about the other people in the past that have anything to do with the choices and stuff you've made and what you've lived through and perhaps victim states. It's more about granting that love and forgiveness and kindness to yourself for everything that you've been, so that you can then be in a place of self-acceptance, to allow yourself to be present so that you can make new choices from love, choices from self-approval, which will move mountains for you in the land of personal and spiritual development. If you can allow yourself to make new choices now through self-approval and self-acceptance, you'll get right off your hamster wheel. There's no more repetition of negative patterns. It's just you being now, you choosing now, you getting out of your head, getting into your heart, going with the flow, participating in life from the place of being balanced and relaxed and loving towards the self. And the beauty of this is the more love and kindness you extend to yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, your energy, your own movement and your own flow, the universe has to reflect it back to you from other people. Other people will just reflect all of that love back to you, and you'll be like, where was this my whole life? Oh, well, it was there the whole time, and it was trying to get to you the whole time too, but you were too busy telling yourself that you were a bad person, or that God was punishing you, or that you never made the right choices, so it's hard to make the right choices now. Is that true? Is that really the infinite truth? Or is that something that you engage with as a thought and belief process to keep you from experiencing joy now, from making new choices now, from stepping into the new you now? If this is a topic you guys love and want to jump into more, I have a program called Break the Mold, where I teach you how to let go of the past, get really, really present in the now through meditation practices, through conscious awareness and understanding. Yes, I will feed your mental mind what it needs to understand what I believe you'll want to understand to make the shifts. and to step in the brand new you to create a future that you actually want to live in, to understand with clarity and compassion who you are, both at a human level and a soul level, and be able to make monumental, sustainable, lasting change in your life while setting and reaching your goals that meet both your soul curriculum as well as your human needs and material desires. I have a promo code for you guys specifically on YouTube. I'm gonna leave a link in the description below. If you're interested and this resonates, feel free to check that out. If you love this video, please remember to give it a good old like below. Comment, I would love to hear what your thoughts are on this topic. Subscribe and tap that bell for notifications so you don't miss any energy updates or cool videos on personal and spiritual development. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next video.